What does what is terroir?
Terroir it's the microclimate in the vineyard. It's the combination of the soil, the climate, the atmosphere, the feeling, the whole thing of a vineyard. And the fact that we've got vineyards split up, we've got vineyards 10 minutes from here, 15 minutes from here, 20 minutes from here, all split in different areas. And terroir, you taste it when you get it in the cellar. You taste the sandy vineyards of La Casina, or the rocky vineyards of Vertina, or the clay vineyards here. It's the expression that the wine gives you. As we're not doing anything to it, it's just natural ferment. You get that expression of terroir. You get the expression of, but the terroir is not just the soil, because people think about terroir as just being the soil, but it's a combination of soil, but also the climate in that particular vintage, which has an influence on the vines. There's a little bit too much put into terroir sometimes too. So it's used a little bit as a marketing tool, but it's certainly valid. And we're trying to create our own little terroir. We've got Albarello, we've got goblet-pruned vines here at 8,000 plants per hectare, and we've got the old vines at 2,500 plants per hectare. And that already creates something different. So, man-made terroir as well, so we're forcing it to produce its own sort of flavours. It's in experimentation, because we don't really know what we're doing yet. One thing I always say is when you plant a vineyard, there's an advert. I probably shouldn't give advertising on YouTube. But there's a watch called by Patek Philippe, and the advertising there says you never actually own a Patek Philippe, you just look after it for the next generation. And I'd love to apply that to the vineyards, because when I plant a vineyard, it's actually not for me, it's for the next guys. A vineyard should be there for 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 100 years if possible. So if I make a mistake here, it's really for my kids to sort out. So you try not to make the mistakes. And we're still learning in this area, which is the difference between Nebbiolo, Piemonte, and here. This area, we're still trying to find out the right clones. We're still trying to find out the right density of planting. Whereas in Nebbiolo, they've been doing it forever, and they know what they're doing. And that's a nice thing about being here as well, because it's sort of in a phase of getting better and better.
Better is often a subjective term. So if you're focusing on terroir through your palate, where do you see the cross between the expression of true terroir and your understanding of what true terroir is? Do you feel like you play an important role there, or is that?
Yeah, I think you always need somebody to take the grapes out of that terroir and transform it into something which expresses the terroir. I mean, we're organic and doing a bit of biodynamics, and quite often you see biodynamic producers making really horrible wine, and vice versa. You see conventional producers making great wine. So it's really you need a combination of both. You need great terroir, and you need somebody who understands it and takes it into the cellar and pushes it on.
What has guided your winemaking over the 20 years to be more and more of that person that pushes the terroir on? What kind of things might you do now that you wouldn't do before?
Well, now I clean my feet before I get in the barrel. No, I've always been because I learnt in Germany how to make Riesling and Pinot Grigio and Pinot Weißburgunder and things like that in Germany, and the best wines have an amazing fruit and elegance. And they're making white wine. It's much more of an intervention. A white wine, you press it, and then you have to really control the ferment to get the best out of it. Red wine making is way easier. You pick the grapes and you put them in the cellar, and you can make mistakes, but they tend to sort themselves out. So over the various nearly 20 years I've been here, I've really got to know the fermentation. You understand where it's going and what it's doing just by tasting and keeping on there. And we've had so many different harvests and vintages and heat, cold, rain, hail, that over the time I don't, you're just pushing it, you're just helping it in the right direction rather than intervening and stopping and starting, which is what probably I did it right at the beginning, as I sort of panicked and had a little bit more of a heavy hand on the wines. Nowadays it's way softer. You just push it in the right direction. No panicking. Just open another bottle of wine and then think about it and then carry on. I think that's the best way to make wine is just the less you do, the better. You just have to have great fruit. I know that's a bit of a cliche. Everybody says that, but in the end, it's true. If you've got great grapes, it's pretty easy to make great wine, especially red wine. Whereas white grapes, it's a little bit more problematical.